Hello, my name is Patricia Bueno. I am a professor at Pontificia Universidad Católica del Perú, and I'm going to present the work Assessment of the Transfer of Inductive Reasoning Skills in the Context of Science Teaching, which is shared with Professor Rosario Santos Rodas. In the educational context, the last decades have been characterized by a permanent search to redefine the essential aspects that constitute the purpose of educational processes at all levels. In a dynamic context of permanent change in terms of resources, social needs, technological development, global problems, among others, different profiles of essential competencies are permanently proposed for the training of people through education, highlighting more and more the relevance of critical thinking, together with the resolution of complex problems, creativity, leadership, and teamwork. For science education, the development of scientific thinking and critical thinking in students is considered indispensable for the formation of responsible citizens in the face of current society demands. Cognitive psychology has identified a set of skills that contribute together with attitudes and metacognition to the development of critical thinking. SAIS considers three types of reasoning: deductive, inductive, and practical, in addition to decision-making and problem-solving skills. These last two skills allow the application of a combination of basic reasoning skills and are the ones most frequently promoted in proposals for strategies to develop critical thinking in higher education. It is normally assumed that basic reasoning skills have been developed at the secondary level. However, there is not enough evidence about the strategies used for their teaching, and neither about the achievement in the transfer of these skills in different contexts. One of the main objectives of the proposals for teaching critical thinking is to achieve an effective transfer of these skills in different situations, both academic and non-academic. The objective of this work was to evaluate the level of transfer of inductive reasoning skills with fourth-grade high school students from a Peruvian school. The participants in this study were 19 fourth-year high school students from an emblematic Peruvian educational institution. They were aged between 15 and 16 years. The educational institution has a 100% female population. The educational institution where this study was conducted was founded in 1947 and currently has 1,250 students distributed across the initial, primary, and secondary levels. This institution was included in 2010 as a member of the so-called emblematic institutions, which received special financial support from the government to remodel and modernize their infrastructure. The first module was programmed to explicitly teach the characteristics of inductive reasoning, considering its four types: inductive generalization, causal reasoning, analogical reasoning, and hypothetical reasoning. Finally, the students answered an evaluation test on the topic. This module was developed in 2 sessions of 90 minutes each. 4 months after the first module was completed, the topic Evolution of Species was worked on in the area of science and technology. The topic was worked on during 3 sessions of 90 minutes each. implementing active methodologies. At the end of the module, a structured test was applied with the different types of inductive reasoning contextualized in the topic of evolution of species. Two tests were developed to assess the application of inductive reasoning. The first test was developed in the context of the first module, in which the four types of inductive reasoning were explicitly taught. The second test was developed with the same characteristics, but the situations posed were contextualized in the topic evolution of species. For each of them, the student had to analyze situations in which it was necessary to apply one of the four types of inductive reasoning. In both cases, the scoring followed the same protocol. The data were analyzed using a statistical package for the social sciences, 29 software. Level alpha was established a priori in 0.05. The frequency of cases in each indicator of each of the types of inductive reasoning evaluated for both tests was determined. These frequencies were expressed as a percentage relative to the total number of participants. The scores achieved in each of the types of reasoning for both tests were determined and compared using the Wilkinson rank test for related samples. Figure 1 shows the frequency of cases expressed as a percentage for each indicator applied to assess achievements in the inductive generalization category in both modules. It can be observed that the results are clearly better in the second module, which is evidence that the students managed to apply this type of reasoning in context different from the one used in the training. So it is evident that there was a good transfer in this case. Figure 2 shows the frequency of cases expressed as percentage for each indicator applied to assess achievements in the causal reasoning category in both modules. In this case, it can be observed that although the indicator with the highest score had a higher frequency of cases in the second module, the frequency of cases in the indicator with the lowest score also increased. It cannot be said that there was a good transfer to the application of causal reasoning. Figure 3 shows the frequency of cases expressed as a percentage for each indicator applied to assess achievements in the analogical reasoning category in both modules. The evaluation of the application of analogical reasoning showed a minimal improvement in the case of Module 2, with a small percentage of cases in the highest scoring indicator. However, the differences do not allow us to demonstrate that there has been a good transfer in this case. Figure 3 shows the frequency of cases expressed as a percentage for each indicator applied to assess achievements in the analogical reasoning category in both modules. The evaluation of the application of analogical reasoning showed a minimal improvement in the case of Module 2, with a small percentage of cases in the highest scoring indicator. However, the differences do not allow us to demonstrate that there has been. Table 1 shows the descriptive statistics for the four types of inductive reasoning assessed in both modules. The application of the Wilkinson sign rank test for related samples with a significance level of 0.05 showed significant differences between the results obtained for the two models only in the case of inductive generalization. This result is consistent with what was analyzed from the comparison of the frequency of cases by indicator. In this sense, it can be stated that a good transfer was found in the application of this type of reasoning, but not in the other three. However, there were acceptable results in these other types of reasoning, so the pilot carried out has shown the aspects that need to be strengthened in the review of the strategy to promote these skills in students. The results obtained in the pilot program described have been generally good, as consistency was observed in the application of the different types of inductive reasoning, while a significant achievement was only observed in the case of inductive generalization, which is more easily learned by students. In the other three types of reasoning, there were improvements and not setbacks in the application of these in the context used in the second module. These three types of reasoning are more closely related to the skills involved in the use of scientific thinking. The reported findings are relevant to the review of strategies that seek to promote basic critical thinking skills and can also serve as a starting point for the development of activities that can be used by secondary school teachers to improve their work with students. Communication between secondary and higher education is essential to reinforce the foundation of student training, and seeking points of articulation, such as the ones sought in this study, can be relevant elements in this purpose. Thank you.